So this first poem, you may recognize the title it rips off if you're familiar with Ross Gay's work. It is, in 2016, the African-American poet Kyle Dargan is asked to consider writing more like the African-American poet Ross Gay. Friends, will you hear me today? I noticed a man with no legs wheeling over the deep honeycomb joints of the metro station's platform. I began to pity myself for being a man who must study a paraplegic, the driving rods his arm make against the wheels, before I am able to swallow back the ire that tickles my throat lately, before I begin silently thanking the God I've been taught to thank for my able body. That I needed a legless man to mirror what my two working eyes could have seen might explain my struggles with writing for you, friends, a poem about gratitude. Gratitude, which is all the rave now. Before I might don any rage, before the morning newscast airs white angst over a lost country or the next viral footage from a body camera, before viewer discretion has been advised, you, friends, would like that I first offer thanks for the legs and arms that have not been taken from me. Thanks for the last bits of earth and what skin of mine it has soiled. My natural daybreak inclination is to rise with my jaw tempered by a functional disillusionment with our country, a means of signifying that requires no grace be said before it devours this buffet of civic failing. My favorite poem with gratitude at its root is Thanks by Yusef Komunyakaa. In that slim lyric, the gods are blind, and so he praises off-mark bullets and butterflies that keep him alive, keep his pilot light lit despite Vietnam's damp futility. My imitation would thank my mother, who'd say to me, expect no kindness from the man. This despite how often the man was someone she called colleague, coworker, friend. Thank you, Mother, for assuring my heart never left its house without pessimism's cowl. I mean that. It keeps me safe, wards off the piercing disappointment like a thick winter fabric that dulls chill. Friends, you talk about joy. You say, but there is joy, as if we must convince you of this. As if today's sharp air will hang heavier and cleave at your crown if you don't know, don't hear from my lips that I am joyful. You want my private aspect, joy, to be public. You want my public aspect, pain, stowed beneath my bed like a precious something someone might steal from me. But listen now, I am not a black church with praise and thanks rising off its roof in a harmony you can hear from the Sunday morning safety of your home, miles away from any brick and mortar black church, unless we are counting the ones bought and spun into luxury condos, lofts on your block. Friends, there is a reason folk my age aren't singing spirituals. You long for an era you can't recall, when my church was public because privacy was some off-the-books currency only you could bank, when everything about black folk was forcibly accessible. And though I now manage some private space, I'm still trying to buy the same stitch of citizenship you take for granted, that you spill gimlets on, sleep in, and leave crumpled on your apartment floor. I want that garment. It would grant me the warmth to live as I am, unbundled beyond my small, private space. This is a sprawling country, yet there is so little of it I can bear walking through on my two good legs without my mother's heavy warning woven on my shoulders. Friends, you can't open yourselves to any conversation about how you came to possess that insulating Americanness you flaunt. But you want me to open the doors and let you inside the small chapel that is my joy. You want to watch me there on grateful feet with grateful palms open to candlelight. Thankful, yes, I am thankful. But I cannot accommodate you inside my gratitude. Friends, I know you've come from my private light to nestle in the shade my grateful body casts. But for you, if it is only for you, I'll grant my joy's flickering no exposure. That's how close I'll hug my candles, my joy a refuge from a country at times so cold my hands don't feel the flame searing. You friends, you peckish for a peek at my cloistered, incandescent revelry, where you ask earnest about my frostbite, my burns. I would have opened these hands and fed you all. Right. Americana. Mo Brown today, she was talking about only stepping to the mic and reading poems that frightened her since we're in frightening times. So I'm trying to follow her in that. Americana. The last thing my vision grazes ahead of a red-eye London departure, Obama's smiling face on toilet paper rolls, pyramid stacked at the gift shop entryway. This is Washington Dulles in his final year atop a tiring administration. I lost a good friend over the vote this country cast in 2008. She believed the moment to be revolutionary. I dissented that no radical seed had taken root in our soil. Had I known that she and I would over that wither as friends, I could have feigned exuberance, imitated upheaval. Now, nagging unemployment statistics have since been tamed, as well as the white digits between the dollar sign and the gallon. Nevertheless, 8 years later, some things, some friendships, have not been restored. Still, you don't see me wishing for the means with which to scour the president's grayscale face against my anus. The post-wipe sarcasm, thanks, Obama, a gesture of the body cleansing the body. Though didn't he run to clean and change a soiled nation's bottom? And even that, the privilege of allowing someone else to wipe your ass, this country could not receive from his brown hand housed in a white glove. Twice I have gripped the president's bare hand, America's shit pressed against my palm, and asked him, silently, was it worth it? Tonight I crossed the Atlantic, having lost my antecedent for that it. Maybe just 8 years of static, a ratcheting whir akin to that noise I always hear, do you? As the plane taxis towards liftoff. But I never bother asking, what is that sound when the pilot and I come face to face as we deplane, having jetted across time, finding ourselves towed only by anticipation of the baggage we do claim. Thank you.